In every corner of Lençóis Maranhenses, there are places that don't just look beautiful, they feel unreal, mystical, and almost impossible. A desert that hides oceans, lagoons that glow like gemstones, dunes that shift like waves, and landscapes that seem to exist in a dream not on Earth. And today, we've come to reveal some of Brazil's most magical secrets. A land where the sand turns into water, where blue lagoons appear like miracles, where the horizon feels endless, and where every step feels like stepping into a fantasy. Welcome to Dynamic Expeditions. Welcome to a brand new travel adventure. Welcome to episode 71. I'm Aditya, and today, I bring you one of the most surreal journeys on Earth. Top 10 Magical Places in Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil sparkles. In our previous episode 70, we explored top 10 unreal adventures in Almaty, Kazakhstan vertical bar where mountains fly and deserts sing. If you missed it, the link is in the description, make sure to check it out. And if you are new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications bell so you never miss these cinematic journeys across the world. Today, we travel deep into the heart of Brazil to witness places that feel like nature's greatest illusion. A desert of white sand, lagoons of crystal blue water, hidden oases that appear like magic, and landscapes that look like they were painted by a dream. If you love traveling, exploring unseen wonders, and experiencing the raw magic of nature, then you are in the right place, because only on Dynamic Expeditions will you find journeys like these. For the best experience, watch in full screen. Let the wind, the sand, and the impossible beauty of Lençóis Maranhenses take over your world. Now let's begin today's magical journey. Episode 71, Top 10 Magical Places in Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. Sparkles. Today's 10th Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Sunrise Dunes Viewpoint's sunrise. Sparkles, where golden sand waves wake up with the sun, and silence feels magical, as the first light of day slowly touches Lençóis Maranhenses. The desert begins to breathe. These Sunrise Dune viewpoints are not just places to watch the sun rise. They are places where time itself feels paused. Endless white sand dunes stretch in every direction. Soft curves shaped by the wind, blowing gently as the sky turns from deep blue to warm gold. With every passing second, the landscape transforms. Shadows slide across the dunes, light dances on the sand, and the entire desert feels alive. This is one of the most peaceful moments you can experience in Lençóis Maranhenses. No crowds, no noise, just wind, light, and silence. Fun fact: the dune shapes you see here today may not exist tomorrow. Because of constant wind movement, these dunes are always changing, which means no two sunrises here are ever the same. Every morning creates a brand new landscape, a temporary masterpiece that exists only for a few hours. Walking across these dunes at Sunrise feels unreal. The sand is cool under your feet. The air is calm, and the desert glows in soft pastel colors that look almost painted. It's one of those rare moments where nature doesn't need filters, because reality itself looks cinematic. Travel tip: to experience this magic properly, arrive before Sunrise. Once the sun is fully up, footprints begin to appear everywhere. But early morning gives you untouched dunes, clean patterns, and perfect symmetry. Wear light shoes or walk barefoot. And always carry water, even during early hours. History. These dunes were formed over thousands of years by sand carried from nearby rivers and the Atlantic Ocean. Seasonal winds shaped them into massive rolling waves of sand, creating one of the most unique desert landscapes on Earth. What makes this place extraordinary is that during the rainy season, freshwater lagoons form between these dunes, turning a desert into a living miracle. Standing at a Sunrise viewpoint, you begin to understand why Lençóis Maranhenses feels unreal. It's not just a desert. It's a constantly changing world, where light, wind, and time work together to create magic. This is the kind of place that makes you slow down. That reminds you how powerful silence can be, and how beautiful the beginning of a day truly is. Best time to visit: June to September. When the skies are clear, the dunes are dry, and the Sunrise colors are at their absolute best. As the sun rises higher, the magic slowly fades, but the memory stays with you forever. And this was today's 10th magical place in Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. Sunrise sparkles. Today's 9th Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Betania Lagoon area. Far away from crowded viewpoints, far away from noise, rush, and timelines, there exists a place where nature speaks softly. Betania Lagoon is not a destination you stumble upon. It's a place you reach slowly, patiently. After walking across endless waves of white sand, under an open Brazilian sky, here silence feels alive. The dunes stretch endlessly, smooth, untouched, almost glowing. And suddenly, between them, appears water. Still, clear, unbelievably calm. Betania Lagoon feels like a secret the desert keeps for itself. No signs, no fences, no crowds. Just dunes, water, wind, and time. Sparkle's fun fact: what makes Betania truly magical is that it doesn't stay forever. Many of these lagoons appear only after heavy rains, lasting a few months before slowly fading away. That means every visit is different. The shapes of the lagoons change. Their size changes. Even their color shifts with the sky and sunlight. You are not just visiting a place. You are witnessing a moment in time that may never exist again in the same way. Walking along the edge of Betania Lagoon feels unreal. The water reflects the sky so perfectly. It becomes hard to tell where Earth ends and heaven begins. Travel tip: this landscape is alive and unpredictable. Dunes constantly move with the wind. Paths vanish overnight, and lagoons shift their position every season. That's why visiting Betania Lagoon without a local guide is never recommended. Local guides don't just show the way. They read the land. They know which dunes are safe, which lagoons are deep, and how to move respectfully through this fragile ecosystem. Scroll history. For generations, small communities have lived near these dunes. They grew up watching the desert breathe, sand traveling with the wind, water arriving with the rains, and disappearing once again. To them, these lagoons are not attractions. They are part of life. A reminder that nature is never permanent and never fully under human control. Betania Lagoon teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches silence. Clock best time to visit. The most magical period to witness Betania at its best is between July and August. during these months. The lagoons are full. The skies are clear. And the contrast between white sand and blue water feels almost impossible to believe. Early mornings are the most powerful. The air is cool. Footprints are few. And the lagoon feels untouched, as if it's waiting just for you. Betania Lagoon doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to impress. It simply exists, quietly, beautifully, temporarily. And when you finally leave, what stays with you is not just the view, but the feeling that you witnessed something rare, fragile, and deeply magical. Today's 8th Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Queimada dos Britos Oasis, in the heart of endless white dunes, where survival itself feels impossible. There exists a village that refuses to disappear. Queimada dos Britos is not just an oasis. It's a story of resilience. A reminder that even in the harshest landscapes, life finds a way. Surrounded by rolling sand dunes that stretch for miles, this small desert village feels almost unreal. Palm trees rise gently from the sand. Freshwater pools shimmer quietly. And simple homes stand firm against wind, isolation, and time. Sparkle's fun fact: life here is never easy. Villagers often walk for hours across burning dunes just to reach nearby towns. No roads, no shortcuts, only footsteps, patience, and strength. Every journey across the sand is a test of endurance, one that generations here have learned to survive. Travel tip: Queimada dos Britos is a living community, not a tourist attraction. Always ask permission before photographing locals. Respect their space, their homes, and their traditions. Here, human connection matters more than content. Scroll history. Centuries ago, families escaping slavery sought refuge in this remote land. Hidden deep within the dunes, they built a life far from control, far from chains, and far from the outside world. This oasis became a symbol of freedom, a place where survival meant dignity, and isolation meant protection. Even today, that spirit lives on. Children grow up learning the language of the desert. Adults understand the wind, the water, and the sand. And elders carry stories older than the dunes themselves. Clock best time to visit. The most comfortable and beautiful time to visit is between June and September. During these months, the heat is manageable. Lagoons are full. And the desert feels calm, almost welcoming. Early mornings are magical. Soft sunlight paints the dunes in gold. Palm trees sway gently, and the oasis feels alive yet peaceful. Queimada dos Britos doesn't try to impress you with sights, or luxury, or perfection. It impresses you with survival, with history, with humanity. In a land where nothing should exist, this village still breathes. And once you witness it, you realize the true magic of Lençóis Maranhenses is not just in its landscapes, but in the people who call it home. Today's 7th Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Ponta do Man Lagoon, in a land ruled by white sand and endless horizons. There exists a place where color breaks the rules. Ponta do Man Lagoon feels impossible at first glance. Emerald green vegetation rising gently from soft dunes. meeting crystal blue waters that shimmer under the Brazilian sun. Here, the desert breathes. Unlike the empty dunes surrounding it, this lagoon feels alive. Plants sway softly in the wind. Water glows with shifting shades of blue and green. And the silence carries a sense of calm, not emptiness. Sparkle's fun fact: the reason life survives here lies hidden beneath the sand. Underground water flows quietly below the dunes, feeding vegetation from beneath the surface. What looks dry and lifeless above is actually alive below. This invisible flow turns Ponta do Mangue into a rare oasis. A reminder that nature doesn't always reveal its secrets easily. Walking closer to the lagoon feels like entering another world. The contrast is striking. White sand, green plants, blue water. Each step feels cinematic, as if the landscape was carefully painted by nature itself. Travel tip: the sand here heats up quickly under the sun. Wearing sandals or light footwear makes the walk far more comfortable. Take your time. Move slowly. Let the environment guide your pace. Scroll history. Ponta do Mangue Lagoon is a living example of adaptation. In one of the most extreme environments on Earth, life has found a way to survive and even thrive. This area shows how ecosystems evolve silently, without noise, without attention, yet with incredible strength. Plants here grow where nothing should. Water remains where it should disappear. And balance exists where chaos seems inevitable. It's not just a lagoon. It's a lesson in resilience. Clock best time to visit. The most magical months to experience Ponta do Mangue at its best are July to August. During this time, the lagoon is full. Vegetation is vibrant. And the colors feel unreal, especially under clear skies. Early mornings offer the softest light. Late afternoons bring gentle reflections. Both moments reveal different moods of the same place. Ponta do Mangue doesn't overpower you. It suits you. It reminds you that even in the harshest landscapes, beauty doesn't need permission to exist. Here, emerald greens meet crystal blues. And for a moment, the desert feels alive. Today's 6th Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Canto de Athens Dunes. At the edge of Lençóis Maranhenses, where civilization slowly fades away, lies a landscape that feels untouched, raw, and otherworldly. Canto de Athens dunes stretch endlessly toward the horizon. Massive waves of sand shaped by powerful winds, constantly moving, constantly changing. Here, the desert feels alive. There are no landmarks, no clear paths, only wind, sand, and sky. Every step sinks slightly. Every gust reshapes the dunes, making the terrain feel like another planet. Sparkle's fun fact: the winds here are relentless, strong, steady, and powerful, turning Canto de Athens into one of Brazil's most famous kitesurfing spots. Bright kites dance across the sky, floating above endless dunes, creating a surreal contrast between human energy and nature's raw force. Travel tip: this is not a forgiving landscape. There is no shade, no shelter. Carrying enough water is essential. Wear light clothing, protect yourself from the sun, and respect the desert's intensity. Canto de Athens rewards preparation and punishes carelessness. Scroll history. Before tourists and travelers arrived, Athens was a quiet fishing village. Life here moved with the tides. Boats, nets, and the rhythm of the ocean. Over time, word spread. Vines attracted kitesurfers. Dunes attracted explorers. Tourism slowly arrived. But the village never lost its soul. Even today, you can still feel its origins. Simple homes, fishing boats, and a pace of life untouched by rush. Clock best time to visit. The most dramatic time to experience Canto de Athens is between June and September. During these months, the winds are strong, the skies are clear, and the dunes look sharp and endless. Early mornings offer cooler air and soft light. Late afternoons bring golden shadows and a sense of infinite space. Canto de Athens doesn't comfort you. It challenges you. It strips the landscape down to its rawest form. Sand, wind, and silence. And standing here, with dunes stretching in every direction, you realize this is not just a place you visit. It's a place you feel. Today's fifth Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Baixada Grande Lagoon. In the heart of a landscape made of white sand, there exists a giant natural pool. So big, so blue. It feels like a hidden ocean trapped inside the desert. Baixada Grande Lagoon is not a small lake. It is a vast expanse of water. A calm, serene, unreal blue. Sitting quietly between dunes like a secret the earth refuses to reveal. When you first see it, your mind tries to understand what it's looking at. Because this place looks impossible. A huge pool of water in the middle of an endless sea of sand. With no river, no ocean, no visible source. Sparkles fun fact. During peak rains, Baixada Grande Lagoon can grow larger than football fields. Sometimes so large that from above, it looks like a blue ocean floating in a white desert. It's one of those landscapes that makes you question reality. Walking closer to the lagoon, you notice the water is incredibly clear. The surface reflects the sky perfectly, creating a mirror-like effect. The contrast is dramatic. White sand, deep blue water, a perfect horizon line. It feels like nature itself painted the world into colors and then stood back to admire it. Travel tip: if you want the most intense colors, visit during midday. The sun is directly above, making the water look brighter and the sand look whiter. This is when the lagoon's blue becomes almost electric. Perfect for photos and cinematic shots. Scroll history. Baixada Grande Lagoon was formed by seasonal rainwater. When heavy rains arrive, water fills the spaces between dunes and becomes trapped there. Over time, these lagoons grow and shrink, depending on the weather. The land here is constantly changing, like a living canvas, painted by rain, wind, and time. And that's what makes Baixada Grande so magical. It's not permanent. It doesn't stay the same. It appears, it grows, and then slowly fades away. This is nature's own rhythm. Beautiful, temporary, and unpredictable. Clock best time to visit. The best time to experience Baixada Grande at its fullest is between July and August. During these months, the rains are fresh, the lagoons are full, and the contrast between blue water and white sand is strongest. Early morning offers soft light and calm reflections. Midday gives the best color contrast. Late afternoon brings warm golden hues and long shadows. Each time of day shows a different version of the same magic. Baksha Grand Lagoon doesn't just look beautiful. It feels powerful. It reminds you that nature can create a giant pool in the middle of a desert without anyone asking. And standing there, you realize how small we are and how vast the world truly is. Baksha Grand is not just a lagoon. It's a reminder that the earth still holds secrets. And some of them are blue. Today's fourth Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Lagoa da Esperança. Imagine walking through an endless sea of white sand, where the horizon seems to disappear, and the sun feels like it's shining directly into your soul. In such a harsh and endless landscape, you wouldn't expect to find something so calm, so perfect, that it feels like it was placed there on purpose. But that is exactly what Lagoa da Esperança is. A lagoon that looks too perfect to be real. A place where the water is still, the surface smooth like glass, and the colors so pure they almost look edited. The sand around it is bright white, so clean it feels like snow. And the water is deep blue, reflecting the sky with such clarity that it becomes difficult to tell where the water ends and the sky begins. Sparkles fun fact: Esperança means hope in Portuguese. And standing here, you understand why locals gave it this name. Because in a land where water is rare and survival can be difficult, this lagoon is not just beautiful. It is a symbol of life, a symbol of persistence, a symbol of hope. When rain is scarce and the desert feels empty, Lagoa da Esperança becomes a reminder that nature still cares. That even in the harshest conditions, beauty can appear. Travel tip: to experience the true magic of this place, avoid weekends. On weekends, the lagoon can get busier. People arrive for photos, for quick visits, and the silence slowly disappears. But on weekdays, the lagoon feels like it belongs only to you. The air is quiet, the water is calm, and the world feels still, like it's holding its breath. Early morning is the most magical time. The light is soft, the colors are gentle, and the water reflects everything like a perfect mirror. During midday, the colors become stronger. The blue becomes deeper. The white sand becomes brighter. And the scene looks almost unreal. Scroll history. The lagoon was named by locals who depended on it during dry seasons, when the rains stopped and the desert became harsh and empty. Lagoa da Esperança remained a source of water, a source of life, and a source of hope. For generations, people have come here, not just for beauty, but for survival. They understood that this lagoon was more than a landscape. It was a lifeline. That is why the name Esperança is so powerful. Because it represents a promise that even in difficult times, there is still a chance. The lagoon has witnessed the lives of many generations. It has watched the seasons change. It has watched the dunes move. And it has stayed calm through it all. It is a place of quiet strength. Clock best time to visit. The best time to visit Lagoa da Esperança is between June and September. During these months, the lagoon is full and calm. The water is clear. The sky is bright. And the contrast between blue water and white sand becomes incredibly sharp. Each time of day offers a different mood. Early morning gives a peaceful, soft glow. Midday gives intense colors and sharp contrast. Late afternoon gives warm golden light and long shadows. But no matter the time, the lagoon always feels perfect. Standing here, you feel a sense of balance, a sense of peace, a sense of being exactly where you are meant to be. Lagoa da Esperança doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to impress. It simply exists. Quietly. Perfectly. Like a secret the desert keeps for itself. And when you leave, you don't just remember the view. You remember the feeling. The feeling that even in the most empty places, beauty can exist. Hope can exist. And nature can create something so perfect. It feels like a dream. Lagoa da Esperança is not just a lagoon. It is a reminder that the world still holds miracles. And sometimes, you just need to know where to look. Today's third Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Athens village and lagoons. Athens is not just a place. It's a feeling. A small village where the world slows down, where life moves with the wind, and where nature doesn't just surround you. It becomes a part of your rhythm. Athens village sits on the edge of the dunes, right where the desert meets the ocean. And that contrast is what makes it so magical. Here the vibes are bohemian. Colorful homes, simple streets, local music playing softly, and the smell of the sea mixing with desert air. The village feels like a hidden world, where travelers come to disconnect, and locals live a life untouched by modern rush. Sparkle's fun fact: Athens has no paved roads. That's why it feels raw, untouched, and completely authentic. You won't see perfect streets or big buildings here. Just sandbars, small shops, and a peaceful simplicity that feels rare in today's world. The real magic of Athens lies in its lagoons. Just beyond the village, hidden between dunes, are lagoons that look like hidden pools of blue. Some are calm and quiet. Some are bright and reflective. And all of them feel like nature's secret gardens. Travel tip: to truly experience Athens, stay overnight. Because the village is magical at sunrise, when the first light paints the dunes in gold, and the lagoons reflect the sky like mirrors. And it's also magical at sunset, when the sun dips behind the dunes, and the sky turns into shades of orange, pink, and purple. Athens is a place that rewards time. The longer you stay, the more you discover. Scroll history. Athens was once isolated, a quiet fishing village far from the world. But over time, travelers discovered its raw beauty, and it slowly became a rising ecotourism hub. Today, it's known for sustainable travel, nature tours, and a peaceful lifestyle. But despite its growing popularity, Athens still keeps its soul. It remains simple, real, and deeply connected to nature. The locals still live with the rhythm of the land. They understand the dunes. They respect the lagoons. And they welcome travelers with quiet warmth. O'clock best time to visit. The best time to visit Athens is between July and September. During these months, the lagoons are full, the weather is pleasant, and the landscape feels alive. Sunrise brings calm reflections. Sunset brings warm colors, and the village feels peaceful throughout the day. Athens village and lagoons are not just a destination. They are an experience. A place where bohemian vibes meet magical nature. Where the world feels slower. And your mind feels clearer. And when you leave, you don't just carry memories. You carry a sense of peace. As if the desert itself has changed you. Athens is proof that magic doesn't always come from grand landscapes. Sometimes, it comes from simple life and the quiet beauty of nature. Today's second Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Lagoa Bonita, a place where sunsets don't just happen. They transform the desert into gold. To reach this lagoon, you must climb a steep dune, often using a rope for support. And when you finally reach the top, the view is worth every step. From above, the lagoon looks like a hidden blue jewel in the middle of white sand. But as the sun begins to set, the entire landscape turns into warm gold and orange, creating a surreal, dreamlike scene. Sparkle's fun fact: you must climb a rope-assisted dune to reach Lagoa Bonita. Travel tip: sunset here is mandatory. Don't skip it. The colors are unbeatable, and the moment feels magical, like the desert is alive. Scroll history. Lagoa Bonita was one of the earliest lagoons opened for tourism. And today, it remains one of the most iconic views of Lençóis Maranhenses. Best time to visit, June to August. Today's first Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil magical place is Lagoa Azul, the crown jewel of Lençóis Maranhenses. A lagoon so iconic, it helped make this place world famous. Lagoa Azul is known for its deep blue color. But the magic is that the shade changes with the sunlight angle. Sometimes it looks electric blue. Sometimes it looks like a calm ocean. Sparkle's fun fact: its color changes depending on the sunlight angle. Travel tip: go early morning for clean reflections and calm water. The surface becomes a perfect mirror, and the whole scene feels untouched. Scroll history. This lagoon is one of the reasons Lençóis Maranhenses became famous worldwide. A single view, and the world knew this place was unreal. Best time to visit, July to August. So that was the end of episode 71 of Dynamic Expeditions. If you enjoyed these magical and secret places, let us know in the comments which spot was your favorite. And the most interesting comment, I, Aditya, will pin it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications bell to join us on our next magical and hidden travel journeys. And share this video with your friends and family too, so they can enjoy these hidden wonders. If you have any suggestions or secret place ideas, drop them in the comments. The idea with the most likes will be featured in our next episode 72. Until then, keep exploring. Because we'll be back soon, episode 72 is coming. And in the next episode, we'll take you to even more delicious and famous street foods. We'll be back soon with new locations, new adventures, and new secrets. So stay tuned and keep watching Dynamic Expeditions. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss notifications for our upcoming magical journeys. and be a special part of the dynamic expeditions family. But adventure, exploration, and hidden wonders never end. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching Dynamic Expeditions every episode at 7:45 p.m.